Thank you for the invitation, and thank you for this occasion to share with you some thoughts about the psychological perspective on this matter. I will share some more or less general remarks on this topic. It's, as you can feel, it is very complicated, it's very complex, and we don't have so much time for it. But I will start from the most general thing, it's the family psychology. But before I start, I must inform you that we are in a race. In that in which very different branches of science are taking part. And technical sciences, medical sciences, biotechnology are winning, and they are making our life better. They this is a race which goal is better life for everyone. And they have new technologies and they resolve some problems, but they in the same time build another one problems. And we as social sciences and psychology law, we are far behind. And as professor said, medicine was quicker. Yes, medicine is quicker than law. Technology is quicker. We can make cell gametes from the skin cells, like in Japan. So, but why? What should we do then? And what's the sense of family? Family psychology deals with the topics of the role of family in this individual development of a child. It challenges the dynamics of the family. It deals with the importance of the relationships in the family, and the structure of family. We have this traditional structure where we have mother, we have father, we have children. Modern influences say that we don't need father. The father, it is a role, so the sex is not important. So, and family psychology tries to understand how this all influence on the development of the child. And the most popular approach to the family in psychology is the systematic approach, which says that the family is a system. A family is a system in which every element of the system influences another one. So the parents influence the children and the children influence parents. And when one element changes, that all change. And in this system, we have not only the father, mother, children, we have also grandparents, we have cousins, and so on and so on. So we have this system, and in this system, when does the children appear? And in fact, the psychological perspective says that the child in the system appears in the moment of the decision of the parents to have a child. When parents decide, we want to have a child, and it's the moment where we can start to say about the best interest of the child, because what is the motivation of the father, mother, or single parent to have a child? Is this motivation, I want a child, I want to be a parent, I want to have a family, I want to be a good parent, and so on. Or we can have the motivation, yes, we can have a child so that we can save our other child. Yes, we have told. So the motivation, and this motivation is one thing. The other thing is the vision of the parenthood. Mother and child, they want to be family, they want to have children, and they have a vision. Oh, we will do this thing, that thing, and so on. They have fears. We fear that we won't be able to support these children, or we fear that our children will be not healthy, and those are fears, those are hopes. I hope that everything will be okay. I hope our family will be happy. I hope that my children one day will be good lawyers. And those are hopes, fears, and so on, and motivation. And everything from that point will affect the behavior of parents further. And this is this is not only for the artificial reproduction technologies. It's regardless. Every parent, every family, even natural birth is the same situation. The first moment is decision, and we can say that we start a family with even not born, even we haven't started to have a child. Yes. And the specific challenges for the family psychology are the topic of our conference. Yes, the family is formed through assisted reproductive technologies and therapeutic support for these some families. The technology just took upside down our traditional structure of a family. Yes. Thanks to this art, we don't need heterosexual couple. Yes, men and women. There can be two women, two fathers. There can be only one parent, and so on. So on. It's we have new definition of the family. What is the family? As for this therapeutic support, this is on 3 stages. The first stage is for the parents when they want to have a children. They have a children. They try, and they hear that they cannot have children, and this is a very, very stressful moment. And what next? And the next step could be or adoption or this artificial art technologies. Or in this moment they can decide we don't want to have children at all. So our conference is about the art, so let's go further. The process of art, regardless which type of art, this is a very stressful process, stressful in the medical terms, but stressful in psychological terms. And the family psychology in this matter wants to promote healthy family dynamics, emotional well-being for everyone. But we have in psychology another branch that is called evolutionary psychology that tries to understand why we are doing what we are doing. And this evolutionary psychology emphasizes the role of genetic ties between parents, the children, and the family. The main concept in the evolutionary psychology is that we tend to we want that our genes survive, and we will do anything so our genes will passed on the next on our children, and so our genetic material will live longer. And the research in this field confirms that stronger bonds are formed with the biological children. But genetics in art is very complex. Yes, the art introduced very complexities. Who is the father? Who is the mother? Yes, we have today. In most technologies, at least one parent is the genetic related to the child. In most, and there are some cases when the genetic material from parents isn't used at all. This minor cases, yes, embryo donation and surrogacy. There is no at all genetic connection, and moreover, there is no this connection between mother and the child during the pregnancy. So this evolutionary psychology fails here to understand how the processes that are in the family. We say about the genetic disconnection. And some countries regulate this kind of adoption of unborn child. I found that in California it's regulated. When mother doesn't want to have a child, she can give it to adoption if she is still pregnant. But other research shows that despite the lack of the genetic ties, even if the surrogacy, this bond with the mother can be formed with the intended mother during the pregnancy. And some issues that are important in the families that are created by using art. Not the first issue is family bonds and identity. When we have genetic connections, it's everything is very, very clear. And in the art methods, it is, for example, in IVF, where the material of father and mother is used. It's in fact the same, like it's the natural, like in natural pregnancy. Yeah, we have mother, father. Their genes are in the child, and this provides a foundation in later, when we have the problem with the identity of the kids, when it is forming. And when we don't have this genetic connection, the bond which was formed during the pregnancy can be also serving as a focal point to the therapy counseling for such families. We don't have a genetic connection, but during the pregnancy we were together. We were all through this, and this is the start for the changer. And the situation we have to divide two situations: the situation of heterosexual couples and the same-sex couples. The psychological situation of heterosexual couples is harder. It's first of all, yes, we have this complexity of the decision to have children. But the next step before the art is the diagnosis of infertility. It is very hard for the couples, and some research suggests that the reaction of the diagnosis of infertility is like the diagnosis of cancer for many couples. So it's a very stressful situation. This will then affect the couple relationships. Some couples will go through this, but other couples will need some help to stay together. We have very today's complex social, cultural impacts. Yes, we have this religion today. This all will affect the decision and the stress level of the couple. It's if we live in the culture where the art is being banned, or it's not seen very well, the couples will struggle, will have very hard time. The next issue is what can those couples do? What ways of dealing with the infertility they have? What are the laws in this society? And this all will have long-term psychological consequences on the whole system, not only on the well-being of the parents, but of the well-being of the child. In the same-sex couples, it's easier because it's, we can say, a natural way of having children. The same-sex couples and singles, they can either adopt or use art to be parents. Yes. Art can be a key option. It can be only way. But these couples, they This is not medical condition. They don't have the infertility problem. They just can't have children together. These couples deals with different problems, with social stigma, discrimination, which can affect children's development. There are still many stereotypes, still negative opinions about the same-sex couples or single parents who raise children, and those families can live in fear, or they want they want to prove that even if there are same-sex or single, they are the same. They are as good as the family heterosexual couples. Decision. This was the first stage. The first stage when the couples want to have children, and this psychological situation of those couples, as they will influence everything that will be later. If the mother is stressed, this will be very. This can have a negative impact on the fetus, and when the child is born, those negative emotions, those negatives that were during the pregnancy or before the pregnancy, can lead to negative outcomes later. For example, the fear that we had so hard way, so now, and we don't want to lose it. We don't want to. We don't want that something negative happens to us. But later, yes, the child is born, and we have new problems. The child is born, the child is developing, and the first decision that parents have to make, whether inform the child about their conception through art or surrogacy or not. The child has the right to know about his genetics origins, but it's a hard decision for parents. It's easier when the society is open, and when the culture is more open to art. It's harder when we have the society where art is something negative. When we have couples, heterosexual couples, men and women, and we have the method, for example, IVF, it's easier to hide it, because it's a child. We have the same genetic material. The child may never know that it was conceived by art. But when the parents are the same sex or a single parent, the child will be asking, where is my mom, dad? Even if it is natural born children, they ask, where do children come? And so these questions will be, and parents must decide to tell, how to tell, or not. Research showed that when the child knows earlier about its conception, the child copes with it better. The parents must be open, communicate with children, must tell everything, the motivation, of course, why we love you, we wanted to be a family, and in this situation, the children cope a little better, and their social development is much better. If the child knows about its conception when it's a teenager, then it's a catastrophe. Yes, then there are research that shows very hard identity problems when the teenagers. Who am I? Why am I here? Why did you do this to me? Why did you do this to me? I am a product. Yes, I am a product, and I didn't want to be here, etc., etc. So this is the first hard decision. This is very, very important because research indicates that the social development of the child who are conceived through art is very, very much the same as the development of the child that were born natural. So the development, the psychosocial development is much more the same. So the only difference is the cultural and the social factor, the attitude towards art. So when the parents and the family is open, it's okay. But if the parents' family live in a society where art is being something negative, it can lead to some dysfunction in the psychosocial development. Family bonds. As I said, the evolutionary psychology said that the bonds are stronger when there is a genetic relationship. However, other research show that the emotional bonds in art families are stronger because of the involvement they had to make. They wanted this child, and yes. In art, there are no unwanted children. Yes, in art, every child is wanted. So, from the definition, the bond is stronger. The challenges related to parental identity can arise when the gamete donation is involved. When there is this genetic bond with one of the parents. So, you know this when a child is very, very similar to father or mother, and the child asks, "Who am I similar to?" To the neighbor. So it can be very hard. Origins, yes. We have said here on this conference that a child has the right to know about these origins. It is not only the ethical problem, it's also a medical problem. In the later life, when the child will have some medical problems and will need some genetic material from a related person, a kidney or failure, for example. So it's better to have someone with the similar genetic material, and when we have donated gametes, it's when the child knows who the surrogate mother is or where the donated gametes comes from, it's easier to contact the family and save the life in the future. And the surrogacy, this is a very, very complex problem. Surrogacy, it's a low problem, but it's a psychological problem. It's a psychological problem for the children, but also for the surrogates. Why does the surrogate mother agrees to this? Surrogate mother agrees to carry a children and knows that she must this children give away. And for 9 months they are one and give away. Why the surrogate mother do this? The research, recent research, showed that motivation is. We can think about the motivation, the financial motivation, yes, but it's too easy. The most in the research showed that the most important motivation for surrogacy mothers is empathy and altruistic motivation. So this kind of mothers want to help those parents who don't have children, who can't have children. They want to help, but they also want to have connection in the later. They want to stay in the lives of these children. So it is important to define the boundaries of surrogate mothers, and it can be done, of course, psychological, but in law, yes, it should be, it must be clearly stated where the boundaries are for the surrogate mother. And later. Limited studies show minor differences in the development of children conceived via various art methods. These differences are not very significant. So factors such as child's gender, parents' gender, child's age, when they know that they are conceived through art. This plays more significant roles in the family dynamics and the development than the method itself. And the last psychological perspective, informed consent. It is the legal issue, but it's very important from the psychological view, because it gives the boundaries, it gives the clear view what will happen. It gives the opportunity to see the procedure and everything what will be next. This whole situation will be more predictable, and this all will fulfill the need of safety. So informed consent should require that all parties, yes, patient, donor, surrogates, they must understand the procedure, risk, alternatives, consequences, also the psychological consequences. That there can be some bond between the surrogate mother and the child, and can it be changed? Yes, the surrogate mothers must be fully informed about the physical and emotional effects. And children's rights. Children cannot give informed consent. They just appear, and the informed consent they can make when they are 18 or 16 or so. The children's don't agree to be here. So we are here, psychologists, lawyers, so that we have the best interest of the child in mind. Yes, this is very complex, but the best interest of child from the psychological perspective is the well-being. Well-being and the well-being of the child comes with the well-being of its parents, of the whole system. So when we talk about well-being, we have take care of well-being of everyone in this system, so that we can manage the best interest of the child. So thank you.